Hello everyone, Big Clingy here with a new / old series. Why the bizarre distinction? Let me give you a bit of context. Back in early 2013, I recorded a full playthrough of Pokemon Colosseum. This was back on my old capture card, and back when I was doing post-commentary rather than live. The series was meant to celebrate the then recent Pokemon X and Y announcement. However, certain circumstances, which I won't go into here, forced me to scrap the project. But now, over 4 years later, I discovered an old hard drive that contained all the Colosseum videos I had recorded, and I thought that it'd be a shame to have them go to waste. Thus leading to the series you'll be seeing now. So remember, all the video footage from this series was recorded years ago. So any mistakes I made are a little beyond me at this point. All I can really do is laugh about it in my post-commentary. It also means I won't be able to follow any advice or feedback in the comments, because past me has already completed the entire main story. Everything that he did is set in stone. So, now that you understand that, it's time to begin our journey through the Ore region. Here you'll see a very brief glimpse of my Wii menu. Never really had many Virtual Console games, but this is what we're concerned with. A Nintendo GameCube game. Let's go. Oh, these logos gave me so much joy back in the day. Welcome to Pokemon Colosseum! And this title screen theme is absolutely amazing and very underrated, so I'm just gonna shut up now. Seriously, such an underrated song. Anyway, we'll quickly go into a demo reel that'll preview the adventure. Yeah, right now. In a world with abandoned trains used as gasoline stands and an awesome protagonist, and a town that's unlike most towns, and another town that's got a tree growing through it, with people awkwardly running. Suddenly the music picks up tempo. Afros, underground cities, walking, elevators, running, motorcycles, secret labs, more secret labs, punching, Colosseums, Umbreon, Espeon. There's something wrong with that tree. Hoenn and Johto unite in a Colosseum battle. Someone's an idiot for using a not very effective move. More Colosseums. Someone's an idiot for using a Pikachu against a freaking level 99 Jirachi. And they're about to pay for it. Legendaries of Hoenn and Johto unite. Only one of these trios is in this game. Which one is it? One of these two is also not in this game. And also, speaking of not in this game, neither are these two, and someone is a cheat noob. So, That should give us a bit of an idea of what to expect. Of course, discount Groudon and Kyogre appearing there. Even though they're on the box, you're not going to be seeing them in the main story. And I like how the title screen changes here. Now it's the Hoenn starters facing off against the Johto starters. Pretty awesome. So, no reason to beat around the bush any longer. Pokemon Colosseum is a GameCube game from 2004, which it says right there, that was notable for, well, one main thing. It was in a lot of ways effectively Pokemon Stadium 3, or 4 if you're in Japan, because they got 3 Pokemon Stadium games. It's half a battle mode, but the main reason people enjoy it is for the story mode, which was the first ever 3D Pokemon RPG. That's what's going to be the main focus of this, but for some reason I'm going into the menu, options menu. Guess they have a language thing here. So most people focus on the story mode, but I'm going to showcase the battle mode a little bit, just because I feel like a lot of YouTube playthroughs don't really do so. So here we get to choose either single battle or double battle, and playing here is a remix of the title screen theme of Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, which is still my favourite iteration of the Pokemon theme in the entire series. Now I believe Past Me lets this entire song play out, so it's going to give me a bit of time to explain this. Normally in this mode, you use Pokemon from your Game Boy Advance games. You hook up a GBA game via the GameCube to GBA link cable, and you can transfer your team from the Game Boy Advance games over and play through Colosseum battles. If you played Pokemon Stadium, it should be pretty understandable to you. You just fight against trainers. If you win a battle without losing a single Pokemon, you get a continue, which lets you continue when you lose a fight. Very handy, seeing as there are some opponents in these Colosseums that spam their entire team with 1-hit KO moves. Oh, I hate those fights. Yeah, I actually did play through most of the Colosseums on my own time when I played this game. I didn't get this game just for the story mode, I enjoyed the battle mode as well. Of course, I had a pretty tough time, because back then I didn't EV train. But, yeah, we can choose between single or double battles. The interesting thing is, this game is compatible, I believe, with Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Emerald, even though they weren't released at the time. So, that is pretty cool, actually. Okay, Past Me is actually choosing something. So the Battle Now option, though, lets you battle with a random assortment of rental Pokemon that are all level 50. So that's what I'm doing here. That team looks pretty decent, I don't know why I rejected that. That team is decent, too. And yeah, it kind of randomizes the name as well. You'll get either Wes or Thomas. Seth. This is pretty awesome. Don't really like that team, though. Okay, let's go for this one. So it's time for a random battle against a random opponent who'll be using another random assortment of random rental Pokemon. So here we go to the secret Pokemon selection screen. This is how they handle things so that, I mean, if you're playing with a GBA connected, I think the menus are on the Game Boy Advance. But here, you have to press buttons on the GameCube controller to select your 3 Pokemon without your opponent being able to know which 3 Pokemon you've selected. Of course, here we can press the R button to check out moves. This Machamp is useless against ghost types, that's kind of underwhelming. This Skarmory has a very weird moveset, I don't know why they thought an attacking Skarmory was a good idea. This Rhydon is not bad. This Hariyama is also useless against ghost types. I don't like Revenge being the only attacking move after Fake Out is used up, but I think Past Me liked the idea of Rest and Belly Drum. But yeah, Revenge has negative priority, so not exactly the best thing to be using after you've been cut down to half HP. I think I took a while to decide on my last Pokemon here. That Cradily is alright, but it's ruined by critical hits. Let's go! Here's another cool thing about the battle mode that you're about to see. This Colosseum will be seeing it in the main story too, but you won't be hearing this. Hey, thank you, I'm a generic AI opponent. This remix of the Ruby and Sapphire, I believe this is a normal trainer battle? I think this is the normal trainer battle theme. Battle mode also contains remixes of the Hoenn Gym Leader theme and Champion theme, which is pretty awesome. I think you get one of them randomly. Anyway, no reason not to open with Fake Out here. That actually did a pretty sizable amount of damage. Keep forgetting whether Muck has better special defense or physical defense, but I'm pretty sure it's better special defense. At this point I was, yeah, okay, Metagross is probably going to be immune to a lot of things that this Muck can do. Although Poison Jab didn't exist back in this generation, so this Muck might be using Sludge Bomb. Acid Armor. That's going to make things a little bit tricky. Although, I believe this Metagross, yeah, we've got Psychic. We can break straight through that defense boost by hitting Special Defense instead. Yeah, Mach's Special Defense is pretty decent. I love how its eyes go all swirly whenever it gets hit. Oh, that's not good. So Shadow Ball is physical in this generation, and it's also not super effective against Metagross because of changes to the Steel type chart that happened in Generation 6. So yeah, Ghost is not very effective on Steel here, so that cancels out the super effective against Psychic. But anyway, Mach is down, and that's not a good opponent for Metagross to be facing. I think I'm going to need to get the heck out of here. Yeah, let's switch out. Don't really have that much that I can use here. Does my Hariyama have Thick Fat? Okay, hold on. Past Me may have decided to be stupid. No, wait, Past Me is not stupid. I think I was wondering whether I had Earthquake there. But yeah, turns out I didn't. Okay, so going for Credilli here. Again, I'm not sure if my Hariyama has Guts or Thick Fat. Thick Fat would be pretty useful against this thing. I probably should have sent it in Belly Drum just in case it... That did more than I was expecting. Credilli is kind of an interesting Pokemon. I've always... I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's really that amazing, but it's certainly interesting, and I think a lot more people should give it a chance. I don't think Credilli's going to do well here, though. Yeah, this Credilli really needs an opportunity to set up against something else before it starts tanking things like this, but that Ancient Power did quite a bit. Remember, Ancient Power physical in this generation, because all rock types are. Didn't get the everything boost, though, but, I mean, it's me. Probably shouldn't count on anything like that happening. And I think Credilli should be down here. Yeah, Credilli is down. That didn't go all that well. I probably should have sent in Hariyama right from the start. So already I'm criticizing my past actions. Gonna be a running theme for this playthrough. I have 4 more years of experience than you. Well, at least Hariyama gets an extra Fake Out. But can Hariyama take on everything else on the opponent's team? We'll see. Right, I feel like I should probably just go for Revenge here outright. I probably shouldn't get greedy and try to Belly Drum. Yeah, and that's what Past Me thought too. So let's see if I do have Thick Fat or not. I get the feeling that's not Thick Fat, but I'm not entirely sure. Well, here's Revenge. Doubles in power if you get hit the turn before, but it's also negative priority, which I guess makes it easier for you to get hit the turn, well, that turn. I mean, before it's used. Another fire type, Torkoal, and that's not good because Torkoal has immense physical defense, and am I going to be stupid here? No, don't be stupid here, Past Me. Don't be stupid here, Past Me, please. I kind of feel like I probably should... Oh, that's not good. That's really not good. Yeah, because Revenge isn't going to get the double power here because that was not a move that actually damaged me. Only 20 damage. This is either going to take a while or it's not going to end well for me. Oh, Past Me, you... that's not a good idea. Yeah, I paid for that pretty badly. I probably should have rested there, come to think of it. So, that was not good. That was not good at all. Bye, Hariyama. I do have Metagross left. The bad news is that Torkoal is a fire type, and if I don't one-shot this thing, I'm going to get destroyed by Flamethrower. So, can I one-shot this thing? Obviously, I don't want to go for Shadow Ball here, because that's physical, and it'll be hitting on its Iron Defense boosted physical stat. So, let's go for it. Will I do this? Not enough, and that was enough time for you to be able to destroy me with Heat Wave. I mean, that could have missed, but... I think where I went wrong was sacrificing Credilli against, although Credilli wouldn't have done so well against Torkoal anyway, but sacrificing Credilli against the Entei was probably where I went wrong. So yeah, I lost this demonstration battle. That's not a good sign going forward. Not a good sign at all. But hey, at least I showed you how Battle Mode worked, and at least I took out 2 out of 3 of his Pokemon. Lose. And the punishment for that is that Wes will not have his canon name used in this playthrough. You'll see what I mean by that in a second. With that little diversion out of the way, it's time to finally start story mode. Just a warning, save files for this game take up an enormous amount of memory card space. So much so that Colosseum originally came with its own memory card. But yeah, you know a protagonist is awesome when Seth is one of their default names. Unfortunately, Past Me didn't decide to go with their default name. Nowadays, I like to treat the main characters as separate characters from myself, but here I just decided to name the character after myself. So, this guy's canon name is generally agreed to be Wes. He's also generally agreed to be the single most awesome Pokemon protagonist of all time. And you're about to see why. But yeah, here I am fumbling around with the name thing. I tried to do a dot at first, and then I thought that that wouldn't work, so I end up having the character named B-Kling. B-Klingy. That's as close as I could get. So, let's go. Welcome to the Ore region. You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy in the Pokemon universe. Especially in this canyon, where a villainous team is— oh, explosion! What was that? Why, it's the most awesome Pokemon protagonist of all time! Quick, stop him! It's not gonna work though, his awesomeness is just too much. You know, if you played XD, you might recognize this music. Oh, why is Espeon waiting in the sidecar for him? Espeon's the powerhouse. Espeon should be the one with him doing the fighting. Kind of weird that, but anyway, they escape on their awesome hover cycle. And a second explosion too. Yeah, I'd be angry too if that just happened. But serves them right. So, that's our protagonist for us. Why he did that, we'll never really know, but I like to think he used to be a member of that evil gang and then had a change of heart. So, he arrives at this dodgy little outskirt place with this— I actually really like this song. And we have our trusty partners, Umbreon and Espeon. Umbreon, for some reason, is one level higher. Something I like about these two is they already start out with a bit of experience right off the bat, which implies they fought some trainers during that whole sequence that we had there. So anyway, we've got Umbreon, we've got his moves here. I might as well cut to Umbreon's bio now, because Past Me spent way too much time on these status screens. The Dark-type evolution, Umbreon, who fulfills kind of the opposite role to Espeon, in that Umbreon is a tank, plain and simple. Decent HP, great defense and special defense. Now, many players find that defensive Pokemon aren't all that useful during the main storyline of a Pokemon game. And while that is kind of true, I personally feel like Umbreon is a lot better in this game than many people give it credit for. Firstly, this is a game heavily based around catching, and sometimes you'll spend a while trying to catch a Pokemon. For that, a good, bulky defensive Pokemon who can stick around for a long time is much appreciated, buying you extra time to keep throwing Pokeballs. The starting Umbreon in this game also comes with a move that many people underestimate the effectiveness of in this game. Before I go into that though, I'll just mention its ability. Synchronize is, I guess, a little bit better on Umbreon than it is on Espeon, although admittedly Umbreon really doesn't want to be poisoned. But it's still very situational and not exactly the best ability in the world. As for moves, just like Espeon, Umbreon starts with 2 attacking moves and 2 supportive ones, but unlike Espeon, it's the supportive ones that are the more interesting here. Bite is Umbreon's bog standard offensive option, and due to same type attack bonus, it's the most powerful option it has. Remember that it's special in this generation, so it will be working off Umbreon's slightly lower special attack stat, but really, both of Umbreon's attack stats are pretty bad, so it doesn't matter which one you use. Umbreon is also quite slow, so it won't be getting off flinches often. I would recommend replacing this move with Feint Attack as soon as Umbreon learns it. It has the exact same power, and its secondary effect of never missing is at least marginally more useful than flinching on a slow Pokemon. In fact, for a certain optional battle, it's highly recommended that you have Feint Attack on Umbreon before you attempt it. The other attacking option is Secret Power, a 70 base power normal type move that has a 30% chance of a secondary effect that varies based on the location you're in. Unfortunately, I can't find any reliable info on exactly which areas trigger which effect in Colosseum's story mode. Even then though, you're unlikely to be using Secret Power for anything other than weakening opponents, so the secondary effect won't matter that often. But now we get to the good stuff, Taunt. This move, although not entirely ideal on a Pokemon as slow as Umbreon, remember that Prankster doesn't exist in this gen, so there's no such thing as Prankster Taunt. But Taunt is actually a great move in this game's story mode, as a lot of major bosses have strategies that revolve around moves that get shut down by Taunt. You will see me abuse this later in the playthrough. It's actually more useful than most people think. Then there's a move that's kinda equally as useful as most people think, and that's not much, Snatch. Snatch is a very, very bizarre move. What it does is put Umbreon into an anticipation state at the start of the turn, and the next time any Pokemon on the field uses a buff move, Umbreon will steal that move and use it for itself. And I do mean any Pokemon on the field when I say this. You'll see something funny with that later. Overall though, Snatch is a very situational move that's unlikely to really help in a lot of major fights. I'd recommend replacing it as soon as possible. As far as notable level up moves go, I already discussed Feint Attack, but Confuse Ray is another option. Sure, it's unreliable, it's more reliable than it is in Sun and Moon, but it's still not all that reliable. But it's an alright option for incapacitating foes. Now, Moonlight is the true crown jewel of Umbreon's move pool. A 50% healing move is amazing on a tank like it. However, it doesn't learn until level 52. And you're not likely to be that high of a level until pretty much the final battle, so you won't see much of this. But definitely teach it to Umbreon the moment it's available. As far as TMs go, there's a few attacking moves here and there, but I wouldn't recommend them on Umbreon. Really, the only move I consider is Toxic. Battles in this game usually won't go on long enough for Toxic to make much of an impact, but it is Umbreon's best tool for taking out opponents. Just watch out for Synchronize messing up your plans and giving the target a status condition before you can poison them. Overall, I still find Umbreon a decent Pokemon to use during the main game. Sure, it won't be contributing much offensive presence, but sometimes you need staying power, and Umbreon definitely has that. Access to Taunt is also a big plus in a game like this. So you may notice that moves have contest stats listed, also ribbons, that was a Gen 3 thing that we don't really see anymore now, and I have Espeon too. Lax is but Hasty is a fantastic nature for Espeon. So, cutting to the bio now. Espeon, the Psychic-type evolution, is very much a one-trick cat, dog, fox thing. It smashes things really, really, really hard with Psychic moves and not a lot else. But with how powerful it is, what else do you really need? Espeon is a typical Special Glass Cannon. Very high special attack, very high speed, pretty weak defenses, although its special defense is alright. But it won't hold up very long to physical attacks at all. Espeon needs to take major threats off the field quickly to prevent it from being taken out itself. Its ability also isn't all that helpful. Synchronize is a nice bonus when it works, but it's very situational, and oftentimes in this game specifically, it might trigger at points where you really don't want it to. You really don't want a Shadow Pokemon poisoning or burning itself, for example. Espeon's starting moveset is Confusion and a bunch of other random filler. Actually, that's not entirely true. All these other moves are useful in some circumstances, but Confusion is the one you'll see used the most often by far. Until it's replaced by Psybeam and later Psykick. Now, Espeon won't learn Psychic for a while, but you can obtain the TM of Psychic relatively early in the game. And I'd highly recommend you go out of the way to do so, even though Espeon already learns the move by level up, because Espeon with Psychic hits so absurdly hard, it will make the game much, much easier getting it early. Whereas otherwise, you'd be stuck with Psybeam for a while, and that's only a very slight step up from Confusion. Its other starting attacking move is Return. Now, the Espeon and Umbreon you start with in this game both come with maxed happiness, so this Return will always be hitting at its maximum power of 102, but it's physical, and Espeon's physical attack is pretty bad. This move is usually only worth it for weakening Shadow Pokemon. Reflect raises the defense of all Pokemon on your side of the field for 5 turns. Espeon may not seem like the best user of the move due to its low defense, but Espeon is very, very fast, so you're almost guaranteed to get the move up before your opponent's physical attacks go off, and that can mean the difference between Espeon getting one-shotted and just barely surviving. Don't underestimate Reflect in this game, it's actually pretty useful. And another pretty useful move in double battles is Helping Hand. This sacrifices the user's turn to boost the power of your partner's attack by 1.5 times. Obviously, don't use this when your partner is using a non-attacking move. Now, this move is questionable on Espeon, because really, Espeon wants to spend its turns attacking, and usually you get a better damage output out of doing just that, rather than buffing a partner's move. However, Helping Hand in double battles can be devastating at the right time, especially when used on spread moves. So even though Espeon is not the best user of this move, I really wish it was on Umbreon, that would have been a lot better. Still, like Reflect, don't underestimate it. For both level up and TM moves, there's a running pattern with Espeon. It really doesn't learn any attacking moves that are worth it other than Psychic type ones. It'd get a bit of an increase in move pool in later generations, but in Gen 3, it's very much a case of when all you have is a hammer. Espeon hits things really hard with Psychic and doesn't really do much else. Light Screen is an option if you like the fast screens Espeon has, though I personally feel Espeon is kind of wasted in a support role. There's also Protect if you want to, I guess, make Espeon more survivable for a turn. While Protect is normally considered the best move in double battles, I find it's not nearly as useful in single player as it is in competitive, because it's much harder to predict who a computer player is going to target. But still, this move could save you on some occasions. Overall, Espeon is a great offensive Pokemon to use all throughout the game, and you'd be hard-pressed to find a player of Colosseum who doesn't have Espeon on their final team. Just make sure you bring some teammates to cover Dark types though, because Espeon really can't do much to them. But yeah, Hasty Espeon, I was very lucky to get that. That is a great nature. Okay, I'm thinking past me seriously must have gone to make a sandwich at this point, because why did I leave the screen here for so long? I have no idea. Okay, let's check out another option in our menu, the P Star DA. So we have a snag list, even though we have no idea what that means at this point. Why is this here? Why is it called snag list? Guess it actually makes sense considering our former occupation. Now, we don't have any emails, but we can change our email alert tone. I decided to change it off of something that was the standard one, just for a bit more variety. I get the feeling that a lot of people who do this game would just leave it on the standard bell. Okay, 6 is alright, but 5 is kind of annoying. These are the two standard ones usually here. In the end, I decided to go with Melody 2. Thought that was suitably unique. Anyway, we also have 1,000 Pokédollars to start out with. This may have been the first game to actually call the currency Pokédollars. Also, we have a pretty big complement of items right off the bat. Status healing items, HP healing items, we've got quite a lot. Well, a lot except for any Pokeballs. Or berries or key items, but no Pokeballs is the main point of note we'll need to address. Also, what's this? There's something squirming in that sack. But let's just leave it alone. It's obviously nothing important or anything. Also, there's a gear on the floor. That's totally just junk and will not be relevant later on in the game at all. Definitely not. Some more junk. That stuff definitely won't be relevant. Huh, a great big catch, and there's a sack in the back of your truck. But it's probably nothing, let's just ignore it for now. I like the hover car, though. I mean, just the general design of the Ore region is pretty cool. It's just a kind of aesthetic you don't see in Pokemon that often. So let's see what we got here in this place. Suddenly, news report. Oh, that totally wasn't us. Yeah, we have nothing to do with that. Absolutely nothing. There is not soot on us from those explosions. Nope, no evidence. You can't find anything. You can't prove anything. Let's just get out of here now. Yeah, currently under investigation. We should probably run. Know them. We just, actually, no. Shutting up now. I have no connection to Team Snag'em whatsoever. At all. Well, good for you. Just stay away from Voltorbs and coughing. This place doesn't discriminate, at least. And, I wasn't talking to you, sorry. I was trying to talk to the lady over here. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty dark for a Pokemon game. There was a bit of a hiccup in the video just there. But this guy takes notice of us being a Pokemon trainer. Yeah, that's kind of right. I like that cog in the back there. And no one else has anything new to say here. But yeah, that is a running theme. This game is surprisingly dark by Pokemon standards. It was probably Pokemon's first attempt at an actual darker, not exactly more serious, but just sort of darker storyline. But anyway, this guy's name is Willy. That line would be kind of funny if you named yourself Joe. But let's have a quick battle. Ore is mostly populated by criminals, but at least the general population are more polite about Pokemon battles than most trainers are. They actually give you the option to say no. They're also very animated about it. And it's time for awesome battle music. I love this song so much. As we face off against Rider Willy, who sends out Zigzagoon and another Zigzagoon. Yeah, when he said there was not much chance of him beating us, he was right. I like Zigzagoon though. Zigzagoon's probably my favorite early game rodent Pokemon, and I think it's a lot better than many people give it credit for. So yeah, it's time to face off against two Zigzagoons in our first battle. But let me draw attention to the call option on this menu here. This is new and not in any other Pokemon game. The call option at this point just raises your accuracy at the cost of your Pokemon's turn. I actually kind of like this because very rarely do you get the option to pass your turn in a Pokemon game. And in a game like this, where sometimes you don't want to attack certain things, it can be useful. There is another function to the call command, but I'll get into that later. For now, let's just blast some Zigzagoons. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I love Zigzagoon. It always hurts to see them faint like this. But yeah, as I said before, Espeon and Umbreon already start with a little bit of experience. And off the bat, Umbreon's bite is actually kind of strong. Not as strong as Espeon's confusion, but still not terrible. I love how the Zigzagoon runs between his legs. I've always loved that. It's just something about this game that I've always... It probably wasn't intentional, but the way that the animation matches up was just... I always loved that. And I love the attention to detail with Zigzagoon's Pokédex entry in that it runs in zigzags all the time. So, I'm just gonna... I don't really know what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of trying to stall here, maybe? I don't know what part of it I was thinking. I think I was just trying to demo Return. Return is at max happiness, so it is at its full power, but with Espeon's physical attack stat, it's not really going to do much. So anyway, we have defeated Rider Willy. This guy's kind of going to be a recurring fight, if we want to. We can come back and battle him later on. Also, I don't know what to make of that defeat line. At all. Well, we have another city, I guess. I kinda doubt that. I know who's there, and they're actually worse. But with that, I think I'll end this part here. So, next time, we'll be traveling out to Fennec City out west. See you then.